Here. You got your hosts Brian and Craig. Craig, brother man, how's it going?
Craig's back. Woo!
Craig
All
is
right.
back on a Friday. They had Friday Night Lights last night, so Craig's able to jump on and join us, which is fantastic news. If he and his dog is joining us too as well. Uh, all right, guys. Today's episode's 155. We're going to talk about what 0-2 teams we think can still make the playoffs, what 2-0 teams we think might miss the playoffs. We got the top games of week 3. We give you the NCAA schedule, and we got some headlines of the week right after this, guys. All right, guys, welcome in. We are going to give you the 0-2 teams starting off first. That we're going to go through those and see what who we think might still make the playoffs. Because when you start off 0-2, Craig, you just gave me the percentage. It's like 83% chance of
So
missing
yeah,
the playoffs.
somewhere right to 83%. Now that's in the old schedule, without the added playoff team, but still,
In the
it's
17th game, and
still got to be the 70 percentile that don't make it when you start 0-2.
all right. Well, we got the Titans, we got the Bengals, we got the Raiders, and we got the Falcons are all 0-2, and the Panthers. Heck, you could even throw the freaking Colts in here. They're 0-1-1. And the Texans. I mean, but none of us are beating down the door to say Texans are going to go to the playoffs. Let's start with the Bengals, I guess. Bengals are the interesting one here.
Yeah.
We talked about
$70 million on an offensive line, and you made it worse.
I don't know how it could get any worse, but it
Well,
did.
no, it's worse than it was last year.
It did.
And spent $70 million to upgrade it, and it
They
got worse.
had one starter from the Super Bowl team last year on their team, and they changed up everybody else.
Yeah.
And it's just a wide open door, basically.
Turnstile.
It's a Joe Burrow. Now,
yeah,
this is one thing I talked about before is I want to see the Bengals do it again. Well, you got to see that consistency from them. 0-2 start doesn't look good, and they weren't all that great last year during the regular season. You know what I'm saying? There was some games where they should have beat the Packers. Some games they lost, they should have won, but they got hot in the playoffs. And was it more of a fluke? Was it not? It seems maybe it might have been. We're only 2 games in, so this 0-2 is a little overreaction, especially in the division they're in.
And they get a little bit of a break this week, so.
Yeah. The Browns thought they were getting a break last week, and then they lost to the Jets. But I don't see this one happening. I do think the Bengals still make the playoffs. I think Joe Burrow, Joe Cool will get it together once they get that win under their belt and get moving forward in the right way. That the Browns are leading the division right now only because they played in Thursday Night Football and actually won that game. The Steelers don't look like they can do anything. The Ravens are always going to be a decent team, but I think the Bengals could end up winning this division and end of it. Starting off 0-2, I think they make the playoffs. What about you?
I think they put themselves behind the 8 ball. The Lamar Jackson decides he wants to start looking like a NFL quarterback again. That's real weird. And I think
Until the fourth quarter.
I think the only way in is winning the division, because there's some teams that have surprised me, i.e. Miami. I mean, I liked that deal, but I thought they would need another year with a new head coach. I liked the team. I liked the moves they made. I liked everything like that. But I didn't like the division they're in, and I thought they needed another year. It appears that they might not. So I think there's some teams that I thought would do better But there's also some teams that I thought would be in the playoff mix that are not going to be, that we will talk about in a minute. But I think that their only way in is going to be to win that division. And I think right now, I would, after watching the first 2 weeks, I would give that division the Ravens, because they're just playing quarterback wise, they're playing better football, and defensive wise, they're playing better football. And I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Miami's kind of shocked a little bit. Everybody here.
I need Cincinnati to come out and annihilate the Jets. I need them to come out and play a solid football game. Right now, they have not looked good at all. They have not looked. They can't run the football. They can't pass the football. Defensively, they look average. And Joe Burrow's on pace to get sacked 117 million times. You're going to get him hurt, and if he's hurt, well, then that's
then they're the Bengals again.
Yeah. So I need an impressive showing before I can fully get on board back on with the playoff push that they need to beat the team that they're supposed to beat, because they should have, with a backup quarterback in Dallas.
They should have beat Dallas
and done what they needed to do to Dallas. Now, defensively, Dallas is a top 5 defensive team, so there is that. So I'm going to give them a little bit of a break there. That offensively, they struggled because Dallas is good defensively.
And not everyone has a Micah Parsons on their team that gets the quarterback every chance he gets.
Yeah, you're not going to get hit 17 times by the best linebacker in football or pass rusher in football every week.
I got the Bengals in. Still, I think Craig's got them out. So, let's go to Tennessee. A lot of people had Tennessee Titans in. I said no. Titans were going to fall off this year, and they look like crap so far.
Ryan Tannehill has said, "Thanks, Craig. I got you. I'm going to make you look like an idiot, because I understand they lost A.J. Brown, but I thought Henry would come back and be healthy, and I thought they could run the football. And 25 yards later, he was sitting in the third quarter with a jacket on because he didn't want to play football anymore. I mean, if they ever switch over to this other quarterback, he's not the answer. So that's basically waving the white flag.
They're going to blow it up after the season.
They're going to have to, because this looks. I thought they could survive it. I thought they'd be okay. They look like a bottom of the rung football team.
Here is, who do we have winning the division? The Colts are crap. The Texans are crap. The Jaguars are crap. The Titans look like crap. The Titans could realistically still win this division.
Wow. I didn't even realize that.
So I don't know. This is a coin
that's
flip.
Gonna be. Have you heard of the under 500 team making the playoffs? Because that's what's going to happen in that division.
Yeah, it's like when the Panthers were like 6-10 and won their division. It was like, what is this team even doing here?
By default, that somebody has to make it.
And are we really thinking that that Matt Ryan's going to turn it around?
No. I called that Father Time is undefeated, and I was very correct on that. They look terrible.
Do we think this is Jacksonville's year with Trevor Lawrence? No.
I don't. I've already discussed how much of a Trevor Lawrence fan I am not.
So my thought says that Tennessee will win this division and make the playoffs.
Well, that would make Craig look like a genius, because that's what I picked.
And I picked the Tennessee to fall off. Now they're clearly fallen off.
Yeah, clearly. But you might get some wins playing that terrible division.
Now, yeah. So I'm going to say yes to Tennessee.
And I like the head coach to make adjustments.
I like the head coach.
Yeah.
I do think if they don't do anything this season, I think they do kind of blow it up, and maybe he's a casualty. But I do like Vrabel. I think he's done a fantastic job there. We got the Raiders, and sorry, Raiders fans, I don't have you. You cannot start 0-2 in the death row division there, and
not with Miami playing better.
Lose the way you've lost.
Yeah.
And just not look good.
No.
Derek Carr turned over the ball 3 times in the first game against the Chargers. That's the game they should have won. You look at last week, they were 20 points. They blew a 20-point lead.
Yeah.
You get Devontae Adams, you're not using him. Your head coach needs to pull his head out of his butt and use him. This team is not going to make the playoffs this season. For all the Raiders fans
McDaniels is normally an offensive genius, and he has not been in the Raiders, the Vegas, he has not been that. They cannot get the ball to, one of the passes, he had 2 passes. One of them was a 1-yard slant for a touchdown. That doesn't work. The first week they looked like they were going to use him. They looked like they had chemistry, him and Devontae, and now they don't. So I don't know what's going on in LA, or in Las Vegas. They look confusing.
They will not. They definitely will not make the playoffs in that division. You got the Panthers and Falcons. We can automatically. They're not going to make the playoffs.
No.
Let's not even talk about them. Just
Baker looks like he's lost, and I think that's unfair because I think he just didn't have enough time
to learn the system.
And
because Cleveland screwed him over.
Yeah, the Cleveland holds on to him and wants some ransom, deal, and plus, he just didn't get any real. He didn't report to Cleveland, so he didn't do any kind of working out or throwing or anything until right before preseason. So I think they all kind of shafted him on that deal, and the other deal is no. I mean, the Falcons look terrible. Mariota looks a little better than he did before, but
hey, they've been fighting. I will give them that,
but they just don't have enough talent.
No, and then
in that division they're in, and you've got Philadelphia and Dallas, and now you've got San Francisco with Garoppolo and the Rams. You got too many teams for not enough spots. The Falcons aren't going to win 10, 12 games, and that's what you're going to have to do in the NFC to be in the playoffs.
All right, and the 2-0 teams, let's go through them real quick. And there's only one to me that I think is going to miss the playoffs, and it's a little fluky. But you got the Dolphins 2-0, Bills are 2-0. You can scroll down. The Chiefs are 2-0. Those all 3 are going to make the playoffs. You got the Eagles and the Giants. They're 2-0, and you got the Buccaneers. That's 6 teams that start our season off 2-0. The Giants are the one here that I say are going to miss the playoffs. It is a fluke that they're 2-0. I give Brian Daboll some credit. He has got this team playing for him, fighting for him.
They've played 2 cupcake opponents, and they haven't really beat them. I mean, they've they have a total
who
point
play
differential of 5 points.
Who they play week 1? Do you remember? I know they played the Panthers last week. They played the Titans week 1. Yes. That's right. And they won by 1 point.
Yeah. On a 2-point conversion at the end of regulation.
I think, this team looks to have a good head coach, Brian Daboll, offensive system coming from Buffalo. I really like them.
They are trying to give Danny dimes. They're trying to simplify the offense.
Stop with the dimes because he doesn't throw dimes.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, he's garbage.
They're trying to simplify the system for Jones into what he does best. And they have Saquon, who's healthy for now.
He's been playing good, but how long will that last?
So we will see. They have a better offensive line than they've had the last 2 seasons. But I just think that division is too strong, and
I wouldn't say too strong.
I mean, you got Dallas and Philadelphia.
Philly.
I think they're both. I think Dallas and Philly are both better than the Giants.
I think all 3 are better. I just don't know how much better. Eagles are way better.
Yeah,
the Cowboys with Dak Prescott are way better.
Yes, and that's what I'm saying.
But without Dak Prescott, we don't know what they're going to be.
No, and they play Monday night, and we'll find out. If
Cowboys will win. I mean,
if the Dallas defense can keep Saquon in check, then they win the football game. If Saquon goes out there and goes for 170, like the Tampa running back did the first week, Fournette did the first week, then they're in trouble. And you
know what's interesting about this year? When you look at the divisions or you look at the conferences, You can tell the strength is in the AFC, definitely. You can look at the AFC and go, the Bills are number one. In the NFC, it's wide open. It's wide open. You can't. I mean, the
That's
Eagles
why
have
you
probably
don't
looked.
want to, as a fan, you don't want to see your quarterback go down, or you don't want to see anybody get
Yeah.
hurt, because you very easily, this could be the year that you don't have to have an elite squad to make the Super Bowl. You could very easily make a run in the NFC.
You look at the Eagles have looked the best, I think, out of right now of the first two games. I think they've looked the best.
Yes, but I just don't. They haven't played a team that is solid top to bottom.
Well, they got an easy schedule coming too. I mean,
I know 100%. They can start 6-2, and that's on a bad. Like that's losing to Dallas, I think, which I don't know if they will.
But they've looked the best out of. It doesn't matter who they play. They've looked the best out of the two games. The whole NFC North's 1-1. The Buccaneers have not looked good, but they're 2-0. The NFC West
broken.
The Rams don't look that. I mean, they don't look all that great. The 49ers completely changed with Jimmy Garoppolo, so they might be the number one team. The Cardinals,
all they do is win with Jimmy. I mean,
that's the Cardinals.
I don't know how, but he is like 23-9 or something, like as a starter. I mean,
and without like Shanahan, Shanahan without him is like 12 and 20 something. Like it's not. I don't know why they're so. I mean, I'm not a big Jimmy G fan, but he obviously knows that system.
And he wins. He led you to the Super Bowl. Like, I don't understand why we're trying to run the guy out of town.
Yeah. Oh, they already came out and said, speaking of that, the 49ers have already come out and said, Trey Lance is our guy next year, no matter what. I'm like, what if Jimmy goes and takes you to the Super Bowl again? You're just going to be like, all right, sorry, we're going to go with this rookie who, so far, what we've seen does not look like he's ready for the NFL.
Yeah.
And I don't think
he's not like he's out here working on whatever he's struggling with on a broken ankle.
Did you see Jimmy when they were playing? All the team was over there, like giving him hugs and like, oh yeah, Jimmy. Like I think they rally around Jimmy.
It's just like they were talking about with Dak Prescott when he took over for Romo. He threw a pass in the LA Coliseum, and everybody on the thing was on the sideline, out on the field, high-fiving him. He has the team around him. He has the support of the locker room. And that's exactly what Garoppolo has in San Francisco. He has the support of his fellow guys. He has the offense. I'll tell you, the happiest guy in the huddle is Brandon Ayuk, because that's his guy. And Trey Lance couldn't get him the ball. So
this team's going to run a lot better with Jimmy, and I
think so. Like I said, I picked when we did our picks. I picked the 49ers, but I picked them under the stipulation that Garoppolo played.
Well, and I'm not trying to sit here and kill Trey Lance. He hasn't had enough time, but from what we've seen so far, it doesn't look all that great. He played a bad Bears team and only put up 10 points. I'll
give him the fact that it was so wet outside that there was a flood on the field.
That field was ridiculous. They need to burn down Soldier Field and get a better one.
It was not a condition anybody should play in. And then he only played a set of downs in the second game. So I get it, but I don't know. The guy that has a 800 winning percentage and has led you to a Super Bowl, I just can't see why they're showing him the door. It doesn't make sense to me.
All right, we're going to go in the top 3 or top games of the week. Now, we usually give you the top 5. There's a lot of bad football games starting this week.
We did our picks. I was like,
bad.
Don't you wish you had a ticket?
Yeah. So the number one matchup, I think, is going to be Miami and the Bills. The Bills go to Miami. We're going to see.
I want to watch that football game from start to finish.
We're going to see how good Miami is.
Yes.
Well, was this a fluke? They came back and they beat Baltimore last week. They shouldn't have won that game. Baltimore, because Lamar Jackson couldn't move the ball. Miami was able to come down and score all those points in the fourth quarter. And we know what the Buffalo Bills are. I'm interested to see Tua under the pressure of this defense. And I'm interested to see this defense play against the Bills. Can they get to Josh Allen? Can they stop the train that's a moving? Because right now it looks like
it has left the station.
Yes.
The revenge train has left the station, and it is full blow in the right direction.
We both picked Buffalo. I kind of wanted to lean towards Miami, but I just
I
wasn't
want
there
to,
yet.
but that defense letting up
Hey,
35 to a Ravens team, that means they're going to let up 70 to Buffalo because
if they win, if
they
Miami
win,
wins this game,
they're the top.
this will put them on the
Prospect
top.
in-
Hey, I had them in my top 5 power rankings.
Yeah, I can't do that yet. You let up 35 to the Ravens. I can't.
We got Aaron Rodgers going to face Tampa Bay over there to face Brady. It ought to be interesting since both wide receiver cores are completely injured. We're already going to miss Sammy Watkins.
Is off the injured list.
Yeah, well, Sammy Watkins is out already. Randall Cobb didn't practice due to illness. We have you got Tampa Bay's issues. They're calling up Cole Beasley, who hasn't played football this year. Said, "Hey Cole, we kind of need you."
You heard how that went down, right?
No.
Cole slid into Tom's DMs and said, "Hey, looks like you need a wide receiver." And Tom's like, "Yeah, I think I do. I'll go. I'll take care of it." And he went up to the GM and told him to go sign Cole Beasley, and they did.
Well, there you go. I mean, if Tom Brady can turn any tiny little white guy into a good wide receiver, it's Tom Brady. He'll make him the next Julian Edelman or Wes Welker out here. And Cole Beasley
Scotty
Miller
is going to be the it's going to be the Scotty Miller and
Cole Beasley show.
Cole Beasley show down there.
I got Tampa Bay winning this one. In all honesty, I think we get blown out. We got a quarterback that doesn't trust our wide receivers.
Not about blown out.
We've got no passing game because our quarterback doesn't trust our wide receivers and won't fucking throw them the football.
Well,
sorry language, my bad. Won't freaking throw them the
freaking Mark
football.
McCarthy, calm down.
Dump
button.
I heard that dump button. And you can't run on Tampa. The Bears just ran all over us, and Fournette's going to kill us. I just don't think it's going to be a good showing, and I just think we're going to get ran, unfortunately. When Green Bay's schedule coming up, it does not get any easier, especially if our quarterback will throw the freaking ball to the wide receivers. All right. We've got
any other ham banana points you'd like to make at this point?
Oh my gosh. Not now. Not now. I want to see what this game looks like, but you've got the Desperation Bowl. Raiders 0-2 going to Tennessee, who's 0-2. That might be a good one. Might be.
Don't you wish you had a ticket bowl?
You got Rams and Cardinals. Could be a good game. It could be a bad game. You never know what you're going to get with both these teams right now. They both look a little hot and cold. But that's really about it. You know, Denver and Denver Sunday Night Football and the 49ers might be good because it's Jimmy G's back.
Yes.
And other than that, the rest of the games don't look very good.
No.
And the Raiders should beat the Titans.
If they don't, their season's over, and McDaniel might be fired before he gets a win.
You know who might be fired is
Nathaniel Hackett.
What?
Mister, I can't tell time. He's
my
two
God!
games in both games that they played.
Did I send you that TikTok?
Huh?
Did I send you that TikTok where the guy is going off on the Denver Broncos and Nathaniel Hackett because it's like 3rd and 1.
No, I saw the other one where our favorite guy is like, you know, all three guys and
oh yes,
and he's like,
yes.
Oh, he can't tell time. He's like, what? He's like, yeah, he can't tell time. He goes, when I went to his house, he's like, all the food is undercooked or overcooked because he can't tell time. And he walks in and he's got a piece of toast that's burned on one side and melted on the other, you know? It's great.
Well, this guy's going over the game and he's like, watch this play. They do this dumb play and it's 4th and inches.
Yeah.
And then he comes out and he doesn't know if he's going to kick a field goal or run a play. So then he pulls Russell off to kick a field goal and they get a delay of game. And then after the delay of game, they punt the ball. I'm like, oh my gosh.
It's so bad that the crowd in Mile High is counting down to the play clock. So they're like, so Russ knows when to snap the ball.
I texted Jeff and I said, if your coach does not get better than this, he will be gone.
That's why Jeff's not coming on the podcast. He's like, I can't.
I can't.
These two guys are gonna crucify me.
What a pathetic. And I wanted that. This is a guy from Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers loves Nathaniel Hackett, but apparently he has no time management skills because.
Well, apparently somebody else. Well, I think he got it from Mike McCarthy. That's probably who he got it from.
Mike McCarthy's garbage
at not a McCarthy strong suit either.
And that's the only thing he does on the Cowboys team, and he's garbage. Well, those are your games of the week to look forward to. Hopefully, I can catch them. I want to catch that Miami game, man. Gosh, it's gonna be a good one.
I think that's gonna be a noon game too, though.
My game I'll be able to see at 3:25. That's Bucks and Packers.
Yeah.
All right, let's go over the NCAA schedule. Hopefully, we got some better games because last week was an absolute crap fest.
You start your conference play now, so you should have some solid games. Ohio State, that's going to be a tough game for them that's a tough draw for them right out of the gate.
Who they got this week? They play Wisconsin this week.
Yeah.
Alabama's got a that's going to be easy. Yeah. Arkansas number 10 versus Texas A&M number 23. That'll be a pretty interesting game. That's ESPN at 6 p.m. You look at, let's see, Michigan's got another easy win. Florida goes to Tennessee, number 20 versus number 11.
Yeah.
And then Texas is going to blow out Texas Tech.
Yeah, probably.
Clemson travels to Wake Forest at 21. See if Wake Forest can pull that upset. Oklahoma, Kansas State.
Yeah.
There's not really,
Kansas plays Duke. It's a basketball game in a football stadium,
Yeah. Again, I don't see a whole lot of the games where I'm like, oh, that's a must watch.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. So let's see. You got TCU versus SMU. That'll be interesting. Sunday night's going back to SMU. Penn State. All right. Well, it doesn't look like there's going to be any great Saturday football. Tennessee and Florida are probably your best bet.
Yeah. Or SMU and TCU if you're a local fan.
Yeah, if you're a local fan there. Are you going to go to the tailgate, the October 1st tailgate at work?
I'm going to need you to stop and rethink that sentence.
Okay. Well, I thought I knew the answer before I asked it, but
Yeah. The answer is Bambi is opening weekend as October 1st,
I don't.
Let me see.
Not a hunter, so
deer, college football, deer. Yeah, I'll be in the woods.
I am not. I'm probably not going. I'm like, it's gonna be.
That would be the only one that I could go to too, because we have band competitions every other Saturday. That's the only one without one, and so I will not be in any of them.
Well, for y'all that don't know, our job has a TCU. We work in trash. Okay, we do front load trash. We have a residential trash truck that is painted out and decked out in TCU, and they take it out and they do.
It's a trash truck that has been modified into a rolling bar.
It's a basically rolling bar with speakers and TVs, and they cater food. It's pretty good time. It's pretty good time.
Yeah.
Versus Oklahoma, it's gonna be crazy. We don't know what time the game is yet. I'm like, how do you not know what time?
Oh, it should be a prime time, probably.
Yeah, it's either gonna be 3 or 8 o'clock at night. I'm just not going to it. But anywho, hopefully we get some good games on Saturday. There's not gonna be a whole lot of good games on Sunday this week, but I'm sure you can find something to watch. Headlines. Let's get into headlines, guys, right after this. All right, guys. Well, headlines of the week. We got some baseball. We got some basketball for you, which is, I know, completely different from the usual NFL talk or college football talk we've been doing. But right off the bat, we got Boston's head coach being suspended for a year for having relations with a woman inside that works with the Boston Celtics, and this is quite kind of crazy to me. You got your head coach who just took you to the championship. They didn't win it. They took you to the championship. and it comes out that he has a consensual relation, even though he's engaged to Mia Hamm or Mia Long or somebody. And they told him, hey, you got to stop, basically. You need to stop this. He didn't listen to them. They found out some more. They found out it was still going on, so they suspended him for a full season. When I first heard this, I go, oh, it's a slap on the wrist. He'll get like a couple games here and then be done. For the team to come out and go, it's a full year, it makes me think there's something else going on behind the scenes that they're not willing to put out there. Because that's a harsh punishment. The NBA just suspended an owner for a year for being a racist, and we'll get into that in a minute. A racist and a misogynistic. I can't say that word, but whatever. But I'm like, he gets a year for having a consensual relationship with someone that works for the team.
Problem is, there's stories coming out that after they came to him and said stop, that she came to the organization and said he's making moves that are not consensual anymore. So I think there's more to the story. I think what happened was Ime Udoka's camp tried to get in front of this and came to Shams Charania and said, listen, their organization has found out that we're in a consensual relationship, and consensual, and just drove the word consensual in there. And Shams Charania took it and ran with it and reported it. And now things are coming out slowly that maybe it wasn't so consensual. And so that's why the 82. And then, of course, you add on to the fact that he's in a 7-year relationship and engaged, and the position of power over this woman to maybe affect her. Maybe he told her that she would get
at least
in the company,
at least Boston open up for lawsuits.
Yeah, it opens the whole thing. So Boston has tried to get ahead of the NBA by saying, we've suspended him, we've cut him, and that's not the final decision. It's suspended for a year with the we'll reevaluate it at a later date thing.
Well,
stipulation at the end of the.
It's interesting that you say that the consensual, because I read the headliner to my wife, and the headliner was Boston suspends the coach. What's his name?
Ime Udoka.
Yeah, Ime Udoka.
Something to that effect.
For a year for having a
consensual Brad Smith, but
for having a consensual relationship. And my wife, the first thing she says to me is, she goes, "It's interesting because usually when they got to put consensual relationship in there, that word means it's probably wasn't so consensual."
Yeah. Because if it was, you wouldn't have to include it in the headline.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
That's like me going, I'm consensually married to my wife.
Yeah.
Like, what? I mean, of course you are. Why would you have to say that word?
I'm here.
If this turns out that he's done more than that he needs to be fired. And in a discussion.
And I think what it is he knows he's going to be fired from Boston, but he's trying to make it to where he's rehirable somewhere else and not just blacklisted from the whole NBA. That's what we're trying to do. And their camp trusted Shams Charania, so they went to them and reported it so it would get out in the news.
Yeah, they didn't go to Woj.
Well, but what I'm saying is those are the two. Woj and Charania are the two that are trusted. Like, so when you hear it from Shams Charania, you're like, that guy's authentic. That guy's legitimate. And if I'm Charania, I have to go, hey man, you use me dirty. Like, don't put me in this. To use my credibility to cover your guy, and when you know that he's done wrong, like, that's not cool, man, to use my credibility. And so that'll be interesting to see where this goes. The fact that they only went with an interim guy and not went and got another coach tells me they're thinking of bringing him back right now, but I don't know. We'll see.
Well, they were talking about, is Brad Stevens just going to come out from the front office and start coaching again?
The problem is with Brad Stevens, I liked him when he was in college, but he had the mentality that he was still in college and he was talking to these guys like they were college kids, and they're like,
That doesn't
who's
work.
this? Who's this clown? Yeah, we're not. This guy's hollering. What's he doing? And he's like, he was coaching Butler, and he's hollering at these guys, and they're making millions of dollars, and they're going, I don't have to listen to you. You go away. And so that's why the Brad Stevens thing never worked. He never had the respect of any of the players because of the hard nose. I'm going to come in and we're going to run line drills and we're going to do this and we're going to do that, and that just doesn't work in the NBA.
That's the same reason why what's his face didn't work out in Jacksonville.
100%, Urban Meyer. Yeah. It's
you cannot come and
it's
teach
the
us,
you can't come in here and kick your kicker and go, you suck, and kick his elbow out from under him while he's trying to stretch, and tell your coaching staff that I am the greatest. I'm the only winner in this room. The rest of you guys are a bunch of losers. It's a terrible look. And so when you do that, when you're trying to treat grown men like college kids, it never works. So I believe that's why the Brad Stevens thing didn't work, but his basketball knowledge is so great and so deal that they just gave him a front office position to keep him in the organization and use his brain and still pay the contract out because they're going to pay him anyway, so they might as well get something out of him while they're paying him. But yeah, I don't believe that it would be a good idea to bring Brad Stevens down from the booth because it didn't work when he was originally there.
Well, going into another scandalous story in the NBA, the Suns owner got a suspension of a year and a $10 million fine, Robert Sarver, that is, for being racist, making some racist remarks, being misogynistic towards women, and all that, being a complete other piece of crap human being, right? So he's selling the team. He came out. Did you hear his apology?
Both teams.
Yeah, he's selling both. He owns the Suns and then the Phoenix Mercury, the women WNBA. He basically came out. He basically came out and said, "I'm selling both teams." It was basically said, because of the weak generation we're around, I'm going to sell him a team. Well,
yeah, basically said, I was going to take my year suspension, but it appears that you guys are a bunch of, unforgiving, people that are don't understand the culture we live in and don't understand that what I did wasn't exactly as bad as what they made it out to be. So I'm just going to sell the team and make a bunch of money and take my millions and billions of dollars and go start something new. And that's what he's going to do. He's going to make billions of dollars on both franchises, and he's going to live a grand life, and he doesn't care to what he's going to do. And he's going to, both franchises will end up having to go back into start over mode, and he'll set the Phoenix Suns back, and all the work they did with Booker and Ayton and all this, all the work they've done is going to be erased because the entire franchise will be in shambles.
Well, first of all, look, I hate cancel culture. I get it. I hate it. I don't like it.
Yeah, but there is a point. There is a line.
There is a line. That's where I was going next. That you can't be racist. It doesn't matter what generation you are. Being racist is just crap. All right, we're not going to take it. Being racist and being misogynistic towards women and treating women wrong, you cannot get away with that anymore. All right, we're taking a stand against that. And if you don't like it, then don't be a piece of crap. It's that simple. It's not that difficult to not be a racist and not treat women like crap. That's just not that. That's just basic human freaking decency. And it happens a lot in sports. But Boston, the Suns, it happens all over the place, unfortunately.
Yeah,
but
I mean the Mavs had a whole deal here.
Oh,
that they had
Mark Cuban's.
Bring
I can't
in
stand Mark Cuban, man.
Cynthia, whatever her name is there to overlook the whole organization, and
Mm-hmm. Yep, it happens all over the place. Sports, regular life,
Washington, you
everywhere.
got those guys walking up the glass staircase,
Oh. The Commanders that
That's what
owner
I'm
there
saying.
needs to be selling
Yeah.
the football
Yeah.
team. I
He's
mean,
got women walking up the glass staircase, looking up their skirts. I mean, it's just it's ridiculous.
That's ridiculous. All right. Well, the last headline we got is Aaron Judge is chasing history. He is at number 60 right now. 63 is the official record there, Craig, or what are we?
62 is
62.
the Maris record, the
Maris,
American League record. The
American
real
League
record is 73, which
with an asterisk by it, but
is there? I don't see an asterisk. I
there
can
should
pull up
be.
the hall.
Steroids played a lot into that with
Never failed a
Barry
test.
Bonds. Okay.
Never got suspended.
But go read that book. I'll tell you his hat size grew at 34 years old. It's like how in the
Maybe it shrunk.
world
Maybe it got
his
wet.
shoes
Maybe it got wet.
his shoes went up. Like you cannot sit here and tell me that Barry Bonds did not take steroids. He knew the system.
He rubbed a cream on. What
Oh
happened
my
after
gosh.
that?
Get out of here. I know you're a Giants fan, but you gotta be realistic with it.
What happened after we rubbed the cream on? Because we went from 180 pounds to 240 pounds, we just had a good week in the gym.
Just had a good week. A good week.
Yeah,
a good week. Not a good couple months.
Did not shake my finger at Congress and say I did not do steroids.
Rafael Palmeiro looked like
failed a
moron.
test a week later. So I did not do that.
That guy's an idiot. A-Rod, what an idiot. But hey,
again,
at least A-Rod admitted to it, and it wasn't like I didn't. How dare you? And then
because he got tests that failed.
Yeah, what a moron.
Anyways,
Aaron Judge could break that record here in Texas, which
he
would
will.
be
I don't know if it'll be in Texas. I mean, he's going to add to it in Texas. It might be broken before he gets here. It just depends on if they pitch to him or not. They better
pitch to him. I mean, how cowardly would you be to be like, oh, we're gonna walk him? Like, get out of here.
I mean, and that's Barry Bonds at 73 and got walked 170 some odd times. Aaron Judge has only been intentionally walked like 5 times, so at least he's not dealing with that. But it is a good stat to look at. Aaron Judge is 20 home runs clear of the next. Kyle Schwarber's 40 home runs is the next guy even close to him.
Yeah.
And the bottom line is Aaron Judge went to the Yankees and tried to make a deal, and they tried to lowball him. And he said, sorry, I'm going to bet on myself.
And he's winning.
100%. And the deal is you look at the years prior, Aaron Judge has always missed a set of games.
Mm-hmm.
He's missed him and the other guy that they have there that came from Miami, Giancarlo Stanton.
There you go. I'm just can't think of his name.
Stanton, they always go on the DL for 2 and 3 periods of time. Well, if you look at this year, Aaron Judge has missed 5 games. And there's the reason in which he's having the year of his life is because he's playing with the nagging injury or whatever to bet on himself. Where I'm going with this is there's a very good chance that he is not a New York Yankee next year.
Yep.
And
he was almost traded to the Angels before the season started.
He was. Now, I don't know. That would have probably had to include
Ohtani and
at least one of them. Yeah. Trout or Ohtani would have had to been in that deal somewhere. You're not going to get Aaron Judge and not give up one of those guys.
Anyway, sorry, continue.
But the leader in the clubhouse, and I will watch every hot stove report from the end of World Series to the start of spring training because I want this to happen more than anything in the world, is the leader in the clubhouse is the San Francisco Giants. He is a California kid who grew up a Giants fan, and they can, if they are willing to open up the checkbook and sign the deal, and they have no payroll. Right now, they have nothing for next. The only person that's on the books for next year is Brandon Crawford. He don't make a whole lot of money. The Longoria deal's up. The Brandon Belt deal's up. All they got in the pitching rotation is Rondon, and I'm not sure that they're on board to keep him because of a deal he had this year where he kicked a bat and ends up hitting one of the shortstops in the leg because he melted down and kicked something in the dugout and almost hurt one of his teammates. The bottom line is if the San Francisco Giants land Aaron Judge, it could be career changing.
If Aaron Judge leaves the Yankees, heads are gonna roll up
They
in New
are,
York.
but the problem is this is a new era. This is not George. This is not. I have my checkbook
Oh, I
for
know.
the
No, I
luxury
know.
tax, and I have my checkbook for deal. They do not make these crazy deals anymore, and they basically, I'm not sure
He
they're
turned
going to
down
go.
what, $35 million a year?
Yes, and I'm not. I don't know if they're going to go much higher than that. I think the Yankees are in a deal to where they are not. They don't do the luxury tax anymore. They don't do the. I'm going to write the
You'll
deal.
have fans burning down the stadium if they don't
I
sign
I
back
totally
Judge.
agree. I totally
Now,
agree. But the
look,
fact that it wasn't done going into this thing, and we've gotten to this point, is not a good thing.
oh, it's
If
not a
you
good
look
thing.
at this, when every guy that does this doesn't normally land with the team that gave him a dead man deal.
Unless they're willing to just open the
Yeah,
book up
unless
for
they
him,
say we made a mistake. Here's 60. I mean, he will make 400 or 500 million
oh yeah.
dollars. He will make that.
But
Whatever
here's
the top in baseball is right now, he will make $1 more than that.
here's the
And
interesting thing though. When you're talking about him, isn't it interesting that he's missed barely any time when it's a contract year?
yes,
Why does he not? Why does he not put all that
I don't
in
know.
through other years? That to me
And
makes it seem like
it does.
it's a
And
little fishy, dude.
you wonder work ethic wise, you have to question that. If he signs the $500 million deal, is he going to go right back to I got a hangnail and I'm going to miss 40
Right,
games?
right.
Um,
Because that's not what you're paying for. You know
That's
what I
not
mean?
what you're
That's
paying
you're
for.
paying
And
for.
in baseball, it's all guaranteed money. So if
Yeah,
he goes out and misses 80 of the 162, guess what? You're still paying him all the money, and he's going to miss 80 of the 162. And so
and he's older. He's
he
31.
is.
He's
He
not. He's
is. He
not
did
young.
not come in. He did not come into the league at like these kids at 18. He came in later. And so this is his only contract. This one that he is going to sign, he will not get another one. And the problem is this is going to be the Pujols deal all over again. You're
Mm-hmm.
going to sign a deal that is
10
down the
years,
road,
500 million,
and
50
yes,
million a
and he is
year.
going to be
Mm-hmm.
45 years old
Mm-hmm.
trying to hit home runs and make $50 million at 43 years old, and he's going to hit 7 homers, because he's going to be over the hill. And while Pujols has done great for baseball, and he's about to hit 700, and I hope he does. But he made a bunch of money from the Angels when he signed that contract. I said the last 3 years of this contract or the last 4 years of this contract are not going to be, and that was
Absolute.
300 million. That
Yeah.
was back when 300 million was a lot. We're talking another 100 or 200 million. And it's going to be the same deal. It's going to be the guy's going to be over the hill at the back of it. And so, while I would love nothing more than to put Aaron Judge in a Giants uniform and watch him hit balls into the cove all day long, and knock people off their canoes as they drive by and their kayaks as they drive by, I don't know if it's a smart deal. It would be fine for now. I don't know down the road what the deal becomes.
Well, you take that risk. I mean, you with Aaron Judge.
I think so, because
This
defensively
guy,
he's gotten better.
this guy is could break the record for the AL home run record. He's could win the Triple Crown. I don't think anybody's ever done those two in the same, right? I mean, Triple Crown and
The last person to
record.
win the Triple Crown was Miguel Cabrera, and he did not break the home run record when he did it. No.
So he's having a record-breaking
Yeah.
season all around, and that's fantastic. His age would worry me, and that's maybe why that when all the injuries, maybe that's why that the Yankees were like, we're not going over this point.
And that's what I'm getting at.
That's going to be the excuse. And that's going to be the sell job if he does leave. And look, I hate the Yankees. I hope he does leave. I hope he does. That's going to be the sell job to the fans. He's always hurt.
Yeah.
He's old. And they have it's not he'll the Yankees will miss him, but I don't think they'll miss him. I don't think it'll completely crap the team over,
Cripple the
but
franchise. Yeah.
right, but it will be a piece they miss especially
Yeah.
after this season. And
Well,
I'm interested to hear Jeff's take, being a Yankees fan, because Jeff will tell you he's coming back. But
and they will be the first ones he talks to,
yeah,
and they will be the ones that have the first deal. But they just also, if you keep in mind, they just designated for assignment. They just DFA'd Miguel Andahar. Here's a guy who 2 years ago had a Rookie of the Year and was supposed to be the next big star in New York, and they just DFA'd him right before the playoffs. Like they're like, we don't think that you can give us anything for the playoff run. This guy is deal. And so you're paying him and you're going to designate him for assignment. So Miguel Andahar is now out on the market to be signed by anybody. And so I just, the Yankees are the organization since Papa Steinbrenner has, gone on, and the Hal is running it, and they just don't.
right.
They're not running the organization like it's been run in the past. So guys that don't perform and don't want to conform to the salary cap and help the team salary wise, they're just moving on. So it'll be very interesting to see what the Yankees do with this, whether they pay him or not, because he's earned it. He went out and he earned it. And not a lot of people. You see this happen time and time again where they bet on themselves, and it normally doesn't work out this
Normally don't
well.
work out too well.
And this has worked out not only well, but better than
It's
anything
just
has ever worked out.
when you go to a team and they don't get the deal done before the contract's up, right?
It's normally
It's
never
not a
good.
good thing.
No.
Lamar Jackson did it with the Ravens. It's
No,
not
yeah,
a good
I
sign.
guarantee you he's not a Raven next year. They just when that bridge is burned, the player will take the same amount of money that the franchise that he just left.
Yeah,
They can match it, and he'll go there because to him, the organization that you just put all this heart, sweat, tears, and carry this team to the World Series and carry this team to the playoffs, you feel disrespected by this number. Well, the new team gives you the number. It may not be as much disrespect because they may sit down and explain it better. They may have a better sales job. And the fact that Barry Bonds is a huge Aaron Judge fan and says, hey, I want him to not only break the record, but I want him to come here and break all of my records. I want him to come here and he's on the organization. The Giants have just added Buster Posey to the management group over in San Francisco. He just bought into the management group over there. So they're going to try to redo the organization and get back to where they were in 2012, 2014, and try to rebuild that franchise. And what better way to do that than Aaron Judge?
definitely. Definitely. Rangers aren't going to open the paybook for Aaron Judge.
I don't think again.
They'll be that. Yeah, they just spent all that money last year. I doubt they'll be for Aaron Judge this year. They better spend more money this offseason. They've got to. They've got to.
Well, the problem is in Texas is going to be they have pitching, but it's a little ways away. Al Leiter had a horrible Double-A. The numbers in Double-A did not look good. He's going to need to. Now, I don't know if they fast track him or fast track
Kumar
Rocker, and put them where they don't need to be and jeopardize their careers. The problem in Texas is they have never been one to known to develop arms. Every person that they've had, they've put through Tommy John. Their throwing program has been under fire for years.
Now that John Daniels is gone, that might change because he was that was his group of guys, the scouts and the developers, and he never wanted to move on from them. So
and the analytics of showing that pitching here and pitching there and longer innings and so we will see what the decision. Now they should both be in Double-A again, or Rocker should be in High A. See, they never put Leiter in High A. They skipped him right to Double-A and he paid for it. And he got rocked around and the numbers are bad, and he only had 4 wins, and he had a high ERA, and he had, not a lot of innings pitched because he was leaving every game for being rocked and didn't get to develop a lot of pitches. So I believe he needs to start there again next year and see if he can have a better year. But I just don't know. I don't know how much longer the Rangers can wait.
Oh, not very long.
They burned through a couple managers already. They've burned through a general manager.
We're already looking.
Ownership is tired of deal. They spent a bunch of money and they didn't get a whole lot better this year.
We're in the position because of ownership.
Yes, because you didn't spend money for years to come.
They can't get mad when we spent money one year and then we don't do good.
And then you spend money on a guy who came from an organization that he's done nothing but win. And now here he is playing baseball that's meaningless, and he's kind of quit on the team. And so there's a problem.
I was going to say, we're already looking for reasons to get rid of the guy. I mean, he hasn't been here 1 year, guys. Let's just chill out.
And they're saying that he's quit on the team and he's not a team guy. And of course, they're finding out that the guy from Oakland made a bunch of errors. I'm like, well, yeah, if you just look at his stats, that's what he does. Like, you didn't look at this before you signed him. Like, that's defensively, he's a liability. Huh?
What guy from Oakland?
The third baseman. The other guy they signed in the offseason.
Simeon? He's from Toronto.
Well, he played for Oakland originally.
Oh, I was going to say, I don't think we signed a guy from Toronto. I'm just tired.
And Simeon is a defensive liability. He makes 100 errors a year. That's what he's going to do.
And they both had a slow start to the season.
Yes, and you're in a new place, and you're trying to put pressure on yourself. But the bottom line is there's going to be Major League Baseball is going to look totally different next year.
I'm glad.
The pitch clock,
yes,
the shift that is not allowed.
Amen. I love it.
And all of the changes and you can't throw the base more than twice or three times.
If you do it more than twice, and
you don't pick him off, then he automatically gets second.
It's a balk, basically.
Yeah. So it's going to look totally different than the game that you've grown up watching. So I'll be interested to see what these changes do.
Well, it's different. It's different now than when I grew up watching, and I don't like what it's turned out.
And analytics have changed it completely. And
we're gonna see some. We're gonna see
if you look at
balls and play more. With no shifts and
if you look at, I guarantee if you were to go to the two stadiums that have big games tonight, if you go into Yankee Stadium and you go into wherever the St. Louis Cardinals are playing, there are newer juice baseballs in both those stadiums right now.
Oh yeah,
because they want. How Albert Pujols has not hit a home run in the whole first half of the season. He had like 2. And then all of a sudden he hits 10 in the span of 2 weeks. And Mike Trout comes back from the disabled list or injured list, whenever you call it now, and hits a homer in 8 straight games. And Aaron Judge now has 60 homers and is hitting baseballs that still haven't landed yet. And if you look at all these kids in their first major league game, in their first major league at bat,
they're hitting home runs.
How many times
Josh
have
Young,
the first major league hit been a home run? Josh Young, the guy.
It's been 3 times for the Rangers this season.
And that's exactly what I'm talking about. Is every time you have a call-up guy, every time it's their first show, hey, look, they hit a home run. Well, did they? Because juice baseball and a belt-high fastball, like, what are we doing? I've loved this game since I was 5 years old. I could name, when I was growing up, I was born in Michigan, and I could name Detroit Tigers at 4 years old. I've loved this game my whole life. And what they've made it is not what it used to be. You're letting 100 teams in the playoffs. If you don't win 95 games, you don't have a chance. And if you don't score 11 runs, you don't have a chance. And if you don't spend $10 billion, you don't have a chance. What happened to the days of developing your minor league systems and calling guys up and growing a farm system and guys that were in your organization their whole life? That time's gone. The only thing you build a minor league franchise for is to send them somewhere else to get the big name. That's the only time you do it. The Houston Astros have built a minor league franchise, and none of the guys that they grew, I think Altuve is the only one. Springer's gone. This guy's gone. Bregman's had a bad year. The bottom line is they went out and got Verlander. They went out and got the guy that's for the Yankees now, that's pitching for the Yankees now, Cole. Yeah, they went out and got Cole. Garrett Cole. To win the World Series, they went out and paid those guys, and that's why when the Giants win the World Series, people are like, wait a minute, what? They didn't go pay anybody. They didn't. What happened? This isn't supposed to be like last year when they won 107 games. That was a team that in preseason picks wasn't supposed to go 500, and they went 107 games with a bunch of guys that nobody knew.
Yeah,
and that is the way the game's supposed to be played. The
way you win now is
pay a bunch of guys that hit home runs.
Well, to me, it's a little bit of both. You look at the Astros that won recently. You look at the Dodgers, and they do build a farm system. And when they get a farm system good enough,
they
bring those guys up. Well, they bring them. They build those guys up to the Major League Baseball. Then they, like the Yankees, they went out and signed the big guys, right? The Dodgers will sign big guys, but it's a mix and match to me. They take what they built in the farm, they buy some guys and mix and match them, and then after they win a championship,
they
sell it off.
Yeah,
that's the way it's done.
There's no dynasty.
Until you can build a farm system and then have money to spend, you're not going to win. The Rangers aren't going to win because they don't do that, but the Dodgers do that. The Yankees,
the Padres
do that.
Just went
the Astros do that. The Padres do that.
Yeah.
But you got to have. I believe you got to have a farm system, and that's something a lot
you do either to help the guys that you buy or to go trade for more guys that you need. That you have to,
and that's what the Rangers have never done. But
no. So,
and I hate what they've done to pitchers in the major. This is a whole nother. You don't see a pitcher go back in the day growing up. If your pitcher didn't give you 7 innings, that was a fail.
Yes,
that was a bad start.
Now
7 innings at the minimum.
When they go 4 innings or 5 innings, they let up a walk or a base hit. They're turning around and they're looking at the bullpen to see who's coming to get them.
It's crazy.
They get to 80 pitches and they're getting pulled out of the game.
You had back in the day 7 innings. Usually after 7, if they're going strong, then they would close out the game. If not, you had a setup guy come in and you had a closer come in at the 9th, and that was it.
Well, if you look at the 2 years the Rangers had success, Nolan Ryan was a part of that organization, and he went down and he went into the locker room and told those guys, "Don't turn around and look at the bullpen. There's nobody coming to get you.
Yeah,
you're going as far into this game as you could possibly go." And they were like, "Who is this old man? What? What? We don't do that. We don't do that." Derek Holland has talked about it for years. He said he basically told us, there ain't nobody coming to get you. This is your game, and you're going to either figure it out,
sink or swim,
or your ERA is going to be, 13, and then we're going to cut you. So figure it out. And that's what they did. And that's the years they had success. The second that Nolan Ryan left the organization and they went back to analytical baseball and paper pushing and John Daniels, numbers, they have not had the success. And they've lost 2 very good managers over not giving them the team that needed to be played with.
Yep. Well, that went off a little bit to baseball, but that's all right. We'll get into more baseball when October hits, and we'll get to playoffs, and hopefully Judge breaks the record. I want to see that happen, and we'll go from there. But
it would be very sad to get this close and not break it.
He'll break it. I think baseball will make that happen.
I believe so.
One way or the other. Now, speaking of that, that's an interesting topic. Have you? So Netflix has been coming out with a lot of these stories called Untold, and it's sports documentaries. Did you see the one about the ref? What's his name? Donahue.
Yes.
That's a very good one, and he talks about it in there about how the NBA had, and we all know this. We're not dumb, right? But the NBA, he would have special rules for star players. Like Donahue called a travel on Michael Jordan, and they're like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "That was a travel. They told us to call the spin move." And they're like, "Yeah, but not on him. What do you do?" Like,
yeah.
So
well,
they had
they basically the Allen Iverson went and yelled at one of the refs, and the next week those guys that were that guy's buddy had that game, and they basically started calling travel. They knew he traveled. They knew he traveled.
Oh, it was the
palming. They knew he palmed the ball, and they called it. And Iverson says, "How long are we going to do this?" And they go, "Long enough for you to learn that you're not going to disrespect my guy." And they straight told him that's how it's going to be.
That's a very good watch. If you haven't watched it, I watched that, and the Manti Te'o one's pretty good as well. So look for those sport documentaries, untold stories. But all right, guys. Well, it's about that time we get into the what's in our locker segment. Craig, what is in your locker?
Judge has 3 at bats and no hits tonight. So.
Oh, that's not looking too good.
We got the first band competition of no football tonight. We had football last night. They won 63-0. They're 5-0. And tomorrow is the first band competition of the year for my son in his senior year. So that will be all day. We lucked out on the draw time, and we do not have to be at the band hall till 8:45 in the morning instead of 5:30 like it normally is. So I get actually a little bit of sleep before we go because we will be there till midnight. And then I believe Sunday morning I'm going to go throw the cell cam that I got up that sends pictures to my phone out at the Deer Lease Up and make sure everything is set up for next weekend, which will be opening weekend hunting season. Getting ready for vacation. The first week of October I will be on vacation, which that is much needed because I haven't taken any time off all year. So the first week of October will be away from everything and unplug for a little bit and go hunting and probably catch up on some of these documentaries and everything like that. So that's about it. We're going to do band competition on Saturday and watch the NFL on Sunday. Oh, and I did Monday night something that I had never done.
Oh yeah, if we could talk about that.
Yeah, that very, very interesting night. I shot 800 on the button, and I have had multiple chances at this and
bowling.
not
He's talking about bowling.
Yeah, and not done it. And if you would have told me to start the night that I was going to do it, I would have laughed at you because I left work late and decided I was kind of between the rock and the hard place of whether to go home or whether to go straight to the bowling alley. And I went home and showered and changed real quick. Well, there was a bad accident on the highway leading to City View. 20 and Granbury Road had all 4 lanes shut down, and you were forced to get off the highway. So we were supposed to be there at 6:30, and I didn't get there till about 6:50. So I didn't get any practice. And I start the night and throw the first ball of the night right in the ditch. And then spare it and throw 10 in a row and shoot 289 with no practice. Turn around and shoot 255 and 256 and shoot 800 right on the button. So the best part about it was I've bowled for my whole life, and my dad taught me from when I was young. I'm the only one of the kids that followed it and stuck with it, and he was there. And so he had one a while back and shot 802, and I shoot 800, and finally can get that checked off the bucket list. So it was a good night.
Nice, man. Well, congrats on that. That's awesome.
The ring is ordered, and it'll be here in a couple weeks.
Yeah, your championship ring.
Yeah,
that's awesome, man. Well, my locker this week, I ain't got much going on, man. Just looking at switching phone services. Gonna get a new phone, so that's get a new phone's a little exciting. That's about it, man. I got nothing this weekend. I got football on Sunday to watch.
Yeah,
church on Sunday. We got
those weekends are the best, man.
Man.
It'll go by faster than what it seems. So
I get to check out. Last weekend I bought a electrical lawnmower and weed eater, so I'll get to check that out this weekend. Because last week the yard wasn't too long. Now I get to mow it this weekend. Check that out. So woo, fun stuff over here at the Watson household. But all right, guys. Well, that's going to be it. Craig is on here on Tuesdays, usually not on Fridays, but he is a special occasion this week.
Just another about another 3 or 4 weeks of Friday nights, and then we'll be back. Probably the end of September, start of October.
Hopefully Jeff jumps on soon. He's been dealing with some things, working for the stuff for the podcast as well. So hope he's back on too on Fridays. But guys, hope you have a great weekend. Fantastic weekend ahead of you. I hope you got more planned than I do, or maybe you don't want anything planned like I do. Sometimes that's, like Greg said, that's the better thing. We are on all podcast platforms. We are streaming live to Twitch, Facebook, and Twitter, and YouTube. So come watch us live on Tuesdays and Fridays. Come follow our social medias. We're on TikTok, we're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, and all that good stuff. So come check us out, guys. And God bless, and remember,
keep it